Hello everyone, welcome to the highest rating show on news.com.au, sponsored by Unibet. We are at odds with Mark Waugh, Shane Heel and Brian Fletcher. What a week it's been, fellas. Footy, racing, cricket, it's all back. Tuesday night, $10 stakes at the local. You can't want for anything but this time of the year.
Beautiful, isn't it? This time
Mark Waugh, what's been good for you?
Well, what's been good for me? The cream rises to the top,
We'll
boys.
get to that. We'll get to that shortly.
What's been good for me? I've watched a bit of cricket this week, a bit of rugby league and racing, a bit of everything.
Shane Heel, the NBA Finals, playoffs just around the corner. We're going to get your prediction. Have you got a special for us?
Oh, well, it's hard to go past Golden State, but their odds on have been all year. Not playing great basketball, by the way, but last 10 games of the season, teams tend to rest their star players. A bit hard to be able to judge this time of year.
And Brian Fletcher, you saw Nick Kyrgios on the weekend pick a fight with a bloke over there in the tennis.
I know, did you see
what
that?
would you have done if someone like Nick Kyrgios had picked a fight with you?
Run away. I've won every fight by 100 metres, every single one.
We got a big show to come. We are going to bask in the glory of last week for one of our particular team members. The rest of us will hang our heads in shame. We'll go around the grounds and have a look at the world of sport, plus our good things for this week as well. But first up, let's have a look at our slam dunks and our Hail Marys from last week. The leaderboard is on screen as we speak. And Mark Waugh, you get the award for this week, the Catherine Jones Award.
He touched it.
Yeah.
You know, mate, you're going down next week.
First time this year we've had someone both with the Hail Mary and the Grand Slam.
Cream
Slam
rises
dunk.
to the top, boys, doesn't it?
Good, it was good, mate.
One was a bit short, I know that. Thank you. Thanks, boys.
Well, one at $1.60,
Something
but
like-
it was $3 on the
Yeah, well, when
Unibet
I picked it,
website.
Shoals are still in the race,
Yeah,
so that wasn't
that's
bad.
fine.
And to
Any
get the
price on
multi
that?
up, that was close to an absolute fluke. to be
That's an
honest
act of
with
God.
you. Yeah.
Shane Hill, not so good. Brian Fletcher,
Yeah.
you've sacked your man Brian Haskins.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about there.
Caravali, no good.
Caravali, mate, was coming home. You see it?
Yeah, ran a good seventh. Good seventh.
And the
Hang on,
AFL
next
expert
What about you, Russ?
just missed out by about 95 points with Essendon. How bad were they?
Terrible. My team,
You were rapping them
GWS.
too, Russ.
They were the worst, and I followed the worst with the worst. So
You
I
spruiked them.
apologise. I do
You're telling
apologise
everyone
for
down the
those
street
people
to get on Essendon.
who followed me religiously.
Anyway,
because
this is
I'm a
mine for the time being.
self-appointed expert. Let's go around the grounds in the world of sport because there's been plenty happening this week, and I want to kick it off with Brian Fletcher
Yes.
and the NRL. If you'd have told me, or if I'd have told you at the start of the year that Parramatta would be on top of the ladder and unbeaten, what would you have said?
I would have said, give me some of those drugs you are on. Now, look, I mean, Parramatta, it's great for the fans because, I mean, when Parramatta are going well,
Because you hate Parramatta.
I don't hate Parramatta
Like
at all.
he
I
hates
hate Nathan
Perth.
Hindmarsh, that's it. I love Parramatta. Parramatta are good people. I know where, I mean, they played Penrith. They had 6 months to get ready for that game. Last year they were awful. And they were down 10-0 against probably the worst Bulldog side we've seen in a long time.
That's good win against the Dogs. They're
So
up 10-0
the big
Doggies.
test is the next couple of weeks. They've got the Chooks, then they've got the Sharks, then they've got the Raiders down there. So look,
Do you give them any hope this weekend against your Roosters?
I think they'll go all right. I don't think they'll win, but with Blake Ferguson is playing out of his skin, not only in attack but in defence as well. Like he got the intercept last week, but he's rushing up. He's going really good for him.
I will say that the Unibet team are going to offer the biggest fill-up of all this week if you're a Parramatta fan. Don't worry about what odds you see on the website. We're going to fill up with the Parramatta Eels this week, and I think they can win. What about your Bulldogs? They're atrocious.
Yeah, you don't win the comp in March, do you? That's all I can say.
Well, you can lose it.
Nah, they'll get better. They've got to. They've got to get better, don't they, boys?
Broncos, Dragons, Panthers, Storm. Which game would you like to see most out of those two?
Broncos, I think.
And Broncos, Dragons.
That'd be
or
a good
Panthers,
game.
Yeah, I think the Dragons. They've got Corbin Sims back. Look, I don't know what's
They
going
need
on.
the whole Sims family.
I know.
back.
I don't know what's, including Ruwan.
Run.
No, I don't know what's going on with that spine, as they like to call it. But I don't think Gareth Widdop
I think
is happy at
it's
fullback.
Yeah. The AFL. We started the first round of the AFL. Massive upsets. I think all bar two teams with the start actually won. Of course, GWS was one of them, and they were my best bet. Essendon, no good there. But big wins to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Huge win, Western Bulldogs. We mentioned a couple of the others. Geelong over Collingwood. First time, I think, ever the two defending premiers of both, or defending grand finalists, have been beaten in the first round or at least for a decade plus tax.
Yeah, it was amazing. That Brisbane game, I think it showed the importance of having veterans in the back line, especially with the way the runners are now, not being able to deliver the same sort of messages. And you look at Luke Hodge, he was fantastic in that back line. Brisbane are going to be tough to beat at home all year, but amazing amount of upsets all weekend. And it's just hard to judge about who's going to finish where. But the worst game of footy I saw was Gold Coast against St Kilda. Those
You
two
missed
teams are
GWS.
rubbish.
Is the upset's got something to do with the new rule changes? Do you think?
I don't think so. It's like you said, 6 months to get ready for it. But there were teams, Essendon won 8 of their last dozen games last year in the run to the finals, made the finals and then played atrocious. The Swans were always solid but were disappointing. You could argue Collingwood were very disappointing. Melbourne were the worst.
Hey,
got
what
smacked
about
by
my
Port
boys, the
Adelaide.
Cats, mate? Don't worry
Cats
about
were
Collingwood
amazing.
being disappointed. Cats are all right.
Cats were amazing. But I think Brisbane beating the West Coast, the litmus test will be this week. GWS go over to Perth, and I think GWS can beat them again over there in Perth.
They'll get a couple back though, West Coast, you would think, and obviously so tough at home. They normally bounce. Good teams bounce.
Do you
And the
hate-
Friday
you hate
fill up, or the
Perth
footy
in
fill up
AFL
on
as well?
Unibet this
Yep.
week.
You never
Just to chat.
Shush Fletch, the footy fill
Sorry.
up this week is the Swans, $2 to beat the Adelaide Crows, and that's on Friday night. Racing, your boy Gothland goes around on Saturday in one of the...
He's in the Group 3 Neville Selwood.
Support races.
Good each way chance. We had him in the Tankard as well, but I thought we'll go for the easier option. So he's racing well. We've got Spring Charlie in the last at Rosehill as well. And then, of course, the Group 1, the Tankard, Avilius, has got to be hard to beat there.
Have you got any blue silks in your household? Because the way they're winning, they finished first, second, third in the slipper.
no.
They won the other Group 1.
Yep.
They're going well, James Cummings.
Oh, he's got plenty of ammunition, that's for sure, but he's
Where
going
do
well.
the question I wanted to ask, how long do you see him in the job for? James Cummings, he's early 30s now. Is this a 20-year job for him, or will he get bored and want to go out on his own again in 10 years? Or can he go from here to Dubai and UK as a trainer?
I just think he'll want to stay here. I mean, he'd be on a great retainer, probably over $1 million a year. Why would you want to go and train outside that? He's got the best facilities, the best horses. I think it's there as long as he wants it.
Yeah, I don't think money's an issue. He's obviously well versed there in that particular regard, but I'm just thinking from a career
I
perspective.
wish they'd hire Kim Waugh, the Godolphin camp.
He can't afford Mark Ward. The baggage is too much. And you guys are interested in the Golden Slipper. How did you see the Royal Blue winning everything?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I mean, when you're watching the race, you just didn't know which was.
I knew where mine
Yeah.
was. She was last.
I back microphone, so I was sort of cheering for a
Yeah,
microphone.
I thought it was good. You didn't get the winner though, Russ.
No, she was last as well.
Yeah.
That's a couple of last.
You had a
over the
bad weekend, didn't you,
I had a
Russ?
shocking weekend. Somehow won money. The NBA playoffs kick off. No LA Lakers. The hype about LeBron has been like a pricked balloon.
Well, they actually looked all right before he got
what
injured.
Did you call him?
LeBron.
Oh right, no, I thought you said something else. Sorry. Hang on.
Until he got injured. I mean, I can't remember how many games he missed. It was double figures, and then it was all downhill from there. But the recruiting, they didn't get one of the other big guns that they needed. They went after DeMarcus Cousins, didn't get him. Wanted Paul George, didn't get
Why
him.
didn't his cousin want to play?
Yes, Russ got fired today.
Family
On
history.
fire.
Come on, you're laughing.
Yeah, so no, they're not good. They're
Fletch
bad.
normally tells all the jokes, doesn't he?
I'm just getting into it. So who wins?
Golden
Golden
State. They're going to be too good.
Odds on.
Biggest story happened in cricket when we saw the man cat, which I used to think was called the man
Man
cat, because
Yeah.
you're a cat if you do that sort of thing. He ran the bloke out, but you spotted that he tried to do it the ball before as well.
No,
Or
the
something.
ball after Steve Smith came in, and it was the same bit of backing up by the non-striker. He was just out of his ground, and Ashwin could have done it to Steve Smith as well. So the
What
thing with-
brain snap goes through your mind to do
Well,
that?
I
sort
don't
of
know. He's captain as well, so it's not a good look. The man cat is a piece of play which is legal, but normally you only do it if the non-striker, the batsman non-striker, is getting an advantage trying to steal a single.
Or if you've got
so you'd
one
warn,
to go,
you'd warn
yeah.
him and say, mate, stop trying to steal us, an extra run by getting out of your crease before I bowl the ball. But Josh Butler, the guy he man-catted, was basically just
Standing
in
there.
his ground, and he stopped his action and waited for Josh Butler to actually go out of his crease, and then took the bars off. So.
But he also gave Josh Butler a second or two to get back, and he didn't look urgent. He's going, no, you're not going to do that, surely
Well,
not. And he
I
gone
mean,
flip. Has it ever happened to you?
No, it hasn't.
Have you
no.
seen it, Junior? Like in a.
No, not in a game. I haven't played in a game where it's
If you
happening.
were captain in a game like that, and Australia's, we've been part of the worst one, the underarm, but would you say, we'll call him back, or is it out, it's out?
In
Can
that
you call him
situation,
back?
I would. No, I don't think you can once the umpire gives it. But the man cad, you would only even think about it if the non-striker was trying to cheat and get a real head start before you bowl the ball. And then you give him a warning. He didn't even give Butler a warning.
What about Kyrgios? Kyrgios did an underarm. Did you see that when he did
Underarm
an
serve. That's what copped the old mate doing
exactly.
his
So
bit.
is that similar? That's not in the spirit of the game. It's illegal.
Well, I don't think Kyrgios flies the flag for the spirit of tennis, does he?
No.
One would have thought. One thing I will say, would they win a couple of one-days over the Pakistanis, the Aussies?
Yeah.
They have turned the corner.
Going well. They've
Where
won.
do you find a spot for Warner and Smith?
No, they'll be in the World Cup squad. I think there'll be enough spots for them. Someone like a Hanscom or a Turner will probably miss out who have been in this squad.
Yeah.
So someone's going to be unlucky, but I think they'll come back in, Warner and Smith. I think you've got to have them there. If they find form there, they're obviously great players. They'll be there.
Okay, that'll just about wrap up our trip around the world of sport. Coming up, all of our slam dunks and our Hail Marys and the episode of Back or Lay that you've all been waiting for. Okay, time for the shot clock, where we give the boys 60 seconds and a heap of topics and they decide whether they back them or lay them. Pretty simple stuff. Let's go with it. Time starts now. Roosters -7.5 v Parramatta. Fletch.
Back that. Too much strike, the Chooks. Too much strike.
Yeah, back that.
Junior. Tigers to beat the Pies 1-39 in the AFL.
I like this a lot. Good bet.
Yeah,
I think
lay
they're going
that.
to win. I don't know about more than 40. Agree with that one. Broncos 13+ v the Dragons with all the Simses back.
Yeah,
a tight
including
one.
Dim Sim. I'm
They'll
going
win,
with the,
but I'm going to lay that.
Swans Friday night against Adelaide Crows 1-39, $2.28. The SCG looks a little
upset.
rough around the edges.
Like that, back
Upset.
You think the Adelaide Crows can
Yeah,
win?
they can beat it.
They do play well at the SCG. Avilius $2.20 to continue the Blue Army
Yes.
march.
Back that for
I
sure.
agree. 100% best of the day.
Thank you.
Pat Cummins, top wicket taker, third one-day international,
Like him.
$3.60.
Nah, been freshened up, yes.
He's got a blister.
Rockets to beat the Nuggets in Houston.
I think they'll do that.
No, Nuggets are flying.
No, I'll go with that.
Channel
Back
9 to bring in another couple for Married at First Sight because the rest of them are boring.
Let's bring Innes back.
Where's Sorrel when you need
that.
him?
Yeah, I like Innes. Get
All of a
Innes.
sudden I
Innes
love
is in
Innes.
Long Bay.
Okay, it's time for us to put the crystal ball in front of us and take a stab at things this weekend with our Hail Mary and our Grand Slam dunk. And last week, of course, Mark Waugh got the double-double.
I did.
And
Pressure's
this week
on.
he's looking for the
Pressure's
triple-double. Is that what it's called? Triple-double?
triple-double.
Almost
Yeah.
impossible to get in the world of
Hard to
punting.
get, but anyway.
But Mark Waugh, we're going to let you go off with your
Okay.
Hail Mary first
Hail
up.
Mary, I'm sticking to the NRL again. I'm multi there. I'm going the Sharks, the Broncos, the Seagulls, the Tigers, and the Rabbitohs, all to win.
Approximately double-figure odds
Off
at
the
least
bat.
on that one. Brian, what
I'm
do you think?
going a mixture of NRL and cricket. So Broncos minus the start, 7.5. Raiders minus the start. Tigers as well, the West Tigers. Into a Australia win against the Pakistanis.
Okay,
on
those
Friday.
odds are on screen as well.
$11.
Hammer.
Approximately.
I'm going AFL, Richmond 1-39. We spoke about that. Good one. Essendon minus 22.5. I know you don't agree. Port Adelaide minus 30.5. And West Coast to bounce back 1-39. That's massive odds.
I'm going the Swans and Crows unders at the SCG. St Kilda just to win. It's a bit of a flum. And Souths 13+. I think we're all going big multis, especially those of us who haven't had a win for a while. What about the slam dunks where we think something is an absolute moral, like Richmond, Port Adelaide, Geelong, the Tigers, and the Rabbitohs in the NRL?
Well, it's no chance. That you, is it?
Yeah, that's
Okay, well, I'm going to Rose Hill on Saturday for my slam dunk. I'm going to back Avilius to win the Tancred and a horse.
Sorry, that wasn't a
trained
good
by my wife, which I part own, Gofland to run a place. So
Place.
A win into a place.
Yep.
Okay, my slam dunk is my man, Sung Jae Im, golfer. On
You like your
Sunday.
golf, don't you,
I
Fletch?
love my golf. So to make the top 5 finish, he's paying $4.50.
Where at? What tournament is it?
It's in the Dominican Republic. It's called the Corrales Punta Cana Championship. So, but guess what? My man Sung Jae is 20 years of age. Guess when he turns 21?
Sunday.
Sunday, 4 p.m. If that's not an omen, I'm not here. He's Korean. He loves a Korean barbecue. Loves it. Who doesn't love a Korean barbecue?
No, me, I love a Korean barbecue. It's your turn to follow that.
I'm going NRL. I'm boring compared to that. I'm going the Broncos, Canberra, and Souths. All no, I've got Souths minus 6.5.
Good to
reckon
see you've
that'll
done the
happen.
research there.
$3.35.
Stand by, I'm going to ask your thoughts in a second. Don't forget the footy fill-ups. Swans, $2 against the Adelaide Crows. That's big value. And Parramatta, $4 against the Chookies in the rugby league. Go to the website unibet.com.au. And all of our bets are fattened up odds-wise as well. Fellas, particularly you, Hammer, you brought it to our attention. The broken leg in the basketball during the week.
I feel crook when I see
Last
stuff
week we had
like
the
this.
ruptured testicle, which brings us to our question of the week. What would you prefer?
I'll
a
go
ruptured
two.
nut or a broken leg?
I'll go 2 ruptured Jats crackers.
What?
What would you prefer?
You
I
get
would go both.
Prefer's
Ruptured,
not
then
the
break
right
my
word.
leg like that.
You have to make a choice.
Nah,
Yeah.
ruptured both.
What about just your little shin, a little fracture?
That's
That'd
not
be better,
a,
wouldn't it?
mate, it's not a choice.
That'd be better.
Which one are you going?
Where are you going?
I'd rather that than.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm going to broken leg.
Can't-
I've got another one.
Are you going broken leg?
Broken leg every day of the
You
week.
too?
Just a little fracture.
Oh my
Just a
goodness,
little
mate,
on
it
the
snapped.
shin.
The thing snapped.
The little grapes might be flat. No good there.
We may,
Anyway,
need those little blue pills.
just quickly, worst injury you've ever seen? Was it
Well,
Steve?
my brother Stephen, that collision with Jason Gillespie and Candy in Sri Lanka, Stephen's nose was over here. Jason Gillespie got a fracture in his shin bone. It was a
And
bad one.
everyone remembers how many people ran to
That's a
Jason
bad one.
Gillespie. None.
One.
Suck up
Oh,
the
Mark
captain. Got to suck up the captain, don't you?
Mark Waugh was the only one who ran
That was a
to
bad one, though. That's a shocker.
yours.
One of my teammates had a heart attack, self-induced coma for days. So he got out of it though.
Is
It
that
was all
right?
right.
Is that right?
He lived.
Happy
Oh,
ending.
okay, good
We were
news
worried.
story.
Happy
Good
ending.
news
Happy
story.
He's
that
got
one.
got
For a
the.
moment or two, it was going to be a real bad end of the show. And what about you, Fletch?
I saw Richie Barnett, former winger, centre, fullback. We're playing New Zealand a test match. He had a head collision with Wendell Saylor. I've never seen anything like it. He fractured every bone in his face. When he was on the ground, I flipped him over. It looked like Skeletor. So his face sort of went internal. It went inside.
That and other great stories on our flashbacks, which happen each and every week on the show, and stand by for another one straight after this. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for more of At Odds, thanks to Unibet. I have to ask the question that is most asked, the Charles Barkley incident at the Olympics.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll still walk down the street and someone will ask me every second day about that incident. It was 1996, so 23 years ago, unbelievable. And our mindset going and playing against the Dream Team was that we just wanted to take on the best. It was my biggest passion of playing for Australia.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be unlikely we could beat them, but we saw a lot of the other teams that would get autographs from the Dream Team. They'd get photos taken with them before and after the game. We're like, cut it out. That's just not the way Aussies are. We're going to go and have a crack. Let's see where it goes. And we took it at them. I'd hit a few threes and then I got the ball thrown to me. I was lining up for another three, let it rip. Ball went in. Charles Barkley took my legs out and I landed on my back and I jumped up and I saw the big man in front of me and I gave him a little chest bump and a few choice words and he looked down at me and he said, "What did you say?" And I didn't know whether he couldn't believe what I'd just told him or whether he couldn't understand the accent.
Maybe he wanted you to repeat it.
So I repeated it, and then everything sort of took shape from there. They weren't very happy, but it's amazing. It's the Australian way, and you would know better than anybody. But I hit 8 threes in that game, and the only thing anyone remembers is you take on and have a fight.
What yardage or inches are you giving Charles Barkley?
Well, he's only small for his size. He was only like 6'6", but he might have been 130 kilos. Like he was a massive man.
Yeah.
But you're not even thinking about it. It wouldn't matter if I was playing local comp back in Australia.
And did you have a Australian way? Did you have a shake hands and a beer at the end of the game, or did you guys just say, no, that was part of what we're doing at the Olympics?
During the game, he was off his chops. He was out of control, and they all were. But after the game, it was funny. He came and embraced, and then he was really complimentary in the press conferences and said I should be in the NBA and all the rest of it. And we ended up playing them in the top 4 to go into the gold medal game, and they were right on their scout. We ended up earning a lot of respect. It was a great memory, and I think it helped us to be able to achieve.